let us do this. These glasses are disgusting. How do you see out of those? With my eyes? You know what I mean. Yeah, that's all. Streaky now. Streaky like 1970s. Streakers everywhere. Like a hair or something? What the? Nope. Bunch of things to write today. Bunch of things. Took the weekend off from writing, so. Okay. Okay. We're gonna get some words in. I've already gone to the next page, but nobody's around to say it. So there's Mr. Frank. Ooh, back scratcher. Nice. Ugh. That does feel so good. Mm. So just so good. I like that. I like that a lot. I'll try not to get too carried away with it. Yeah, no, we're not. No, I had a busy weekend, and my wife also had a busy weekend, and she was at her mom's last night till like 1 o'clock in the morning. So we were thinking about that as one of the choices for last night, but we obviously she came home too late. Some point this week, at some point. Leave you feeling kind of way. You know what? I like feeling a kind of way. We'll see. Finish that chapter. We're going on chapter 50, which you know, everybody at this point knows. Last chapter in the book. This is it. This is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for literally 4 years, I think. well over 3 years I started this book. One chapter a month in Patreon. Really, I only just published chapter 37 this month. So I'm doing I got 13 chapters more to publish. But I'm doing 2 a month. So 6 months from now, April, this will be done. Yeah, they've made it to the MacGuffin. Yeah. English MacGuffin. MacGuffin with a sausage, egg, and cheese. Take out the baddie with the widget. You know it. You know it. We all know it. Then I can, once it's finished, I do my run through each chapter again and then put it on Patreon. Yeah, +3 widget. +3 widget of doom. You ever hit somebody with a +3 widget? That fucking hurts. It does like 10 to 12 points of damage. Normal NPC has three hit points. You're gonna kill him. Go to local tavern to get a price for the beer wench. Exactly. Classic. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope everybody listening had a good weekend, as a matter of fact. I don't wish a bad weekend on anyone. Except for people I hate. You know who you are. Me and Silent Nick. It says 2 people watching, but only my name on the list. Now it says 3 persons. But who else is on the list? You know what I'm saying? The hidden people. Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Now it's 2 people. Son of a bitch. Where the hell are you going? You get back here right now. Now we're back to 3. So I figured out the Minecraft thing. And I have like 60, 70 people now in my village. I keep growing the village more and more. Lots of carrots and potatoes and wheat. A lot. How are the A1A holes? You know what? Not bad. It was their second show. They played Saturday night, and then they played Sunday matinee that I saw. And they basically played about 40 minutes of Misfits songs. And they were like, hey, come up and sing along if you want. So a lot of people, including my buddy Dan, a couple other people came up. They sang some Misfits songs. And then I was sitting, me and young Mike were at a table literally next to the stage, selling our books. Oh yeah, they played We Are 138. Yeah, Dan sang on that one. And then they were like, kept calling people up, and then Dan was like, get up there, man. I'm like, no, it'll be like a song that I don't even know. That like even had lyric sheets printed out, but you know, you don't need them. I mean, if you know the Misfits, you know them. And the guitar player was looking over, and he was like, do you know, Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight? And I'm like, yeah. Get up here! So I jumped up there on stage, and I said, Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight? And then they jumped into the song. Then I sang that one, poorly, I might add. But, you know, gang vocals, everybody in the place singing, so that was fun. Young Mike was not there, though. He went and got Chinese food at that moment. Nobody was watching our table. We could have been ripped off. They were good, and I don't know if you saw the picture of the Grave Robber was the band. They put on their zombie costumes, and they were pretty good. that would have been even better, right? I got up there and started singing a Sarah McLachlan song or something. Got there, I'm like, this is the greatest Misfits song ever. Billie Jean is not my lover. And then there was just one picture. I shared one picture on Facebook yesterday. They're all dressed up like they have their zombie masks on. The whole outfits and everything. They were like, I said, you know what they sound like? Grave Robber, the headliner from Fort Wayne, Indiana. They sound like the Misfits, but with Michael Graves singing. A much better singer than Glenn Danzig. They weren't bad at all. I didn't pay for Facebook, but yeah, pretty much. They were good. They were not bad at all. The opening band was all right. I'll just listen to this with my grandmother. Exactly. The opening band, Morning something. Morning is an Mourn, Morning something or other. They played a lot of different songs. Their repertoire. Yeah, fantastic. And I was like, oh, I said to young Mike, oh, you know what this sounds like? Tool. And he's like, it does sound like Tool. I didn't know you liked Tool. I said, I don't. I hate Tool. He's like, come on, you don't like anything, whatever the singer. I'm like, no, awful. You don't like whatever the other Perfect Circle, whatever. I'm like, no, awful. All of that, awful. There's Chad Lutsky. Speaking of awful, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they played a song that sounded like Tool. Then they played a song that sounded like the Misfits. Then they played a song that sounded like Black Sabbath. I mean, down to the guitar solo. And then they were like, this is one for Ozzy. And then they literally played Into the Void by Black Sabbath right after they played their Black Sabbath sounding song. My band 70s News Anchor Hair is available for house party. But yeah, so they played a lot of songs that just sounded like other bands. But with only playing that one Sabbath cover, everything else just sounded like a cover of other bands. But I was wearing my my Slayer cap, my Overkill shirt, which I'm still wearing, and the drummer / singer for that first band was wearing his Kerry King tour shirt, and he's like, he started talking to me about music, about Slayer and Overkill and stuff, but he's like probably like in his late 20s, so he had no idea about anything. Did you sell any books to any Fish fans? What do you think? Fish fans do not buy books. Luckily there were no Fish fans. The best part of the whole day is they had also booked, they're booking 3 bands, right? 3 punk bands. And at the same time they booked a 70-year-old woman's birthday party. So they had brought in a cake, which sat on the table right across from me, melting the whole day because all the doors were open. And all these old people kept showing up, very confused. They walk in, especially at the end when they were walking in, and the guys are all dressed up like zombies. And then towards the end of about after 4:00, when the bands were done, everybody's kind of wrapping up. Me and Mike actually sold a bunch of books at that point, which is cool. And then the old lady comes out and she grabs a cake and she brings it to the back. I'm like, I wanted a piece of cake. There's no way you're eating all those, like one of those big public sheet cakes. There's no way you people are eating all this cake. I want some damn cake. I didn't get any cake. But it was fun hanging out with young Mike. And I knew a couple people there. I knew the guy who put it all together, Dan. He used to be in 5 Cent Psychiatrist. You don't want to eat cake that's been sitting out all day. Yeah, that's probably right. It's probably everybody got sick. Today, all those old people are all sick in the hospital. I mean, it wasn't that it was warm in the place. It's just there was no air on and the doors were open. You were getting a nice breeze. I'm not going to complain about the weather at all. And then about 3:00, it started raining outside, so it was even cooler. It was even nicer. I can picture you muttering the red stapler guy in Office Space as she walked away with the cake. Yeah, I was very annoyed. I said to Dan, are you're running this today? Aren't you gonna cut the cake? He's like, isn't that weird that they had they had a birthday party today? I said, well, yeah. I said, but here's what I know, Dan. I would like a piece of that cake. I did not get the piece of cake though. I think the cat just bumped the cord for my little charging station. I got all the windows open today. 77 right now. It's only supposed to be like 79 today. Yeah, is this thing even on? Well, I guess it is. You need cake in your... Yeah, next time I'm like, oh, I'll do this event. As long as you bring me a public sheet cake. but it was good. But I was like, "Is there food?" And they're like, "Yeah, like the next block over is a food truck, and then there's a gas station right across the street." I'm like, "Yeah, fuck that." And then Mike's like, "I'm gonna go get something to eat." I said, "All right, let me know what there is out there." And then he came back like 20 minutes later, half an hour later, with fried rice. I'm like, "Well, thanks for telling me, asshole. I would have had you pick me some." He's like, "Oh, I thought you meant like when I get back." I'm like, "Yeah, because now I have to go out and get food." Fuck that. When I left there, though, I hit Whataburger. Yeah, I was waiting for him to buy some weird shit, but it actually just looked like chicken fried rice, which is odd. I go to Whataburger. I've had this happen to me before when I go to Whataburger. They put, and I think I've bitched about this, they put mustard on the top and bottom of the buns. And I don't eat mustard. It's disgusting. So I pull up and I say, "Hey, I want the double bacon cheeseburger with just lettuce." He's like, "All right." I said, "Just lettuce, nothing else." He's like, "Uh-huh." And I said, "That means no mustard." He goes, "Okay, you want it dry." And I was just pissed. I was like, this is the only fast food place I've ever gone to that you have to say dry, or they don't put mustard, slather mustard all over everything. I don't understand. Like, I know I'm not yelling at you. I'm an old man, and I'm just annoyed. He's like, "Yeah, you gotta order it dry when you're here, because if you just say plain, that means just mustard." I said, "Plain does not mean just mustard. Plain means plain." I was so pissed. So pissed. And so, and then he's like, I need a name for the order. And I'm thinking, why? I'm just driving up to the window. So, of course, I use my one I use all the time, Chachi. "Can you spell that?" "Really?" I'm like, "It's just how it sounds." Frank says, "I've never had anything happen to me at Whataburger." Well, that's good. Did you know Sly Stone was just found this morning? Yeah. Oh, yeah, a while ago. Yeah, Sly passed away, yeah. Yeah, lettuce only, Nick Zen, yeah. But Nick was literally like, "I just want the cheese. I want extra cheese." And they're like, "You're in Wisconsin, of course you're getting extra cheese." And then just put it on a bed of lettuce. I'm like, "Do you want mustard on that lettuce?" "No." And they're like, "When you gotta order your lettuce dry." I was just really, I get annoyed at that. I just get annoyed, to be honest with you. I don't know why, I just get annoyed. Saturday, me and Tom, I actually got Tom out of the house. We went and saw Gabino. And it was cool. He remembered me. I probably haven't seen him in quite some time. Came right up. "I didn't know you lived over here." I said, "Yeah." He stood around and talked to us for a little bit. You almost turned a corner until you stopped at Whataburger. Yeah. I was having a great day until Whataburger. It is a good burger, though. And we don't have them on our side of town, so I figured I would stop. But Gabino was good. Good talk. The woman who did the interview with him instead of me was very good. Yeah, I don't think they have Whataburger up there, right? I don't believe you have Whataburger. It's a good burger. I do like it. It is a good burger. I say it's even better than Five Guys. I don't know what your feelings are about Five Guys burgers. And then Gabino did his thing, and then I talked, and then Gabino said, "Hey, next time you talk to Brian Keene, tell him I didn't say hi." And then he laughed, and he's like, "Tell him we were talking shit about him." And then I said, "Yeah, we're always talking shit about him." And he's like, "Good, good." And then Tom laughed at that. And then we left. It was a good little chat. I like Five Guys. In fact, if I'm in the mood for a burger, I'm probably headed to Five Guys first. It's a good burger. I like Five Guys. You know what I also like at Five Guys? My wife always orders the fries because then they just put 80,000 of them in the bag. But I also like their hot dog. Not a bad hot dog because it's like a sausage. It's cut. It's cut like a sausage. So I always get a burger. I get the double. I get the double burger with mushrooms and onions, and lettuce. They don't ask if I want mustard. They don't. I don't have to order it dry. Then a hot dog, plain, and they always go with nothing on it. Yeah, that's plain. Their fries are good. I'm satisfied. And then they have those Coke machines with like 80,000 different options. And then I just get Sprite. Like, oh, I could try all these different flavors, and I'm like, and they're all not going to be good. Yeah, just order a small fries because they're filling up the bag either way. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why you would order I mean, what's a large fry? Here's 7 bags of French fries. Yeah, we have one not too far from the house. We'll have to know that for next MondoCon, when people are flying in and we got to grab some lunch on the way. I'm like, you know what? Five Guys. Or Whataburger. Let's all hit Whataburger. Instead of Cliff, I wrote Clig. I missed the F by a letter. Cinco Chachis. Cinco Chachis. I knew that guy would have no idea who Chachi was. Just said, this is what this country's coming to. Nobody knows who the Chachi Arcola is. What the hell is this? Oh, nobody, just my baseball game updating. La-da-dee. Stop. I hate when I clear everything and then they give me more things. My wife went and bought candy for Halloween. Very exciting. Probably going to eat a lot of it. She's not looking. She's like, I got a thing in there. It's all like, it's the mixed candy bar, but she's like, yeah, there's Whoppers in there. I'm like, I love Whoppers. What I don't like about the Whoppers you give it at Halloween is there's 3 Whoppers in the package. Like, I want a box of Whoppers. I want the milk carton of Whoppers. You know what I'm saying? It's a milk carton, and then they got missing kids on the sides. Maybe they don't do that on Whoppers. Oh yeah, the candy, not the burger. No, not the Whopper. Yeah, she bought a bunch of. She went to Burger King. She bought a shitload of Whoppers. We're just gonna hand them out. But you know what? If you don't say dry, you're getting them with mustard. Oh, you'd rather have a Big Mac? We have those too. Hold on. Let me go into the other bag. Did they try to put mustard on your Whoppers? They better not. I like my Whoppers dry. I like my Whoppers like I like my Oh, come on, that's uncalled for. Now tomorrow probably more than likely will be on YouTube Live. So if you're watching live now, or you watch this the next day or so, I will be there. Or as Mr. Big said, I would do anything for you. So I watched this YouTube thing this morning, and it annoyed me. It was like 10 bands that should have been huge but weren't. 10 bands that imploded, some shit like that, whatever. And they talked about bands that basically bands that never amounted to anything, and they thought they would. One of the bands was Black and Blue, and they talked about basically Don Dokken produced them and took them on tour with them and on, and then Gene Simmons got his hook in them, and then basically broke up the band so he could have a guitar player in Tommy Thayer. And the whole thing is, you can tell it's all AI. The voice, everything is AI. And at one point, they bring up, what's the band? TKO. I remember seeing that album. I remember seeing the album. No, even deeper than Kingdom Come, Bullet Boys, and Jet Boy. TKO, I remember seeing the album cover. But they go through, like, basically they just had the one album, amounted to nothing. But then they talked about, what's his name? Mark Torino has been in the band for the last 10 years. They still tour. And I'm like, that's not right. So I pause and I look up, and I'm like, yeah, he was not in that. He was in TT Quick at that point. Now he's in Accept. Like, stupid AI. No Kick Tracy, no Vane, no. Like Odin, remember Odin from the Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, Metal Years? They talked about Odin, and now they were this huge band on the Sunset Strip, 10-block radius. Everybody went, so it sold out shows on, and then no record label would touch them. And basically it sounds like they were just a bunch of pompous dickheads, and nobody wanted to sign them because of their demands and stuff. They thought they were going to be the next big thing. Who else is on that list? Like, just like really, I remember Odin. Just watched the movie again for So you can see how awful they were. The one band they brought up, which I do not agree with, was Lizzie Borden. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're still out. They have like 15, 16 albums out. They're still touring. They were touring in Europe like, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. I wouldn't say that they weren't something. You know, they were never huge, but they have they have a following. They have people that actually buy their records. I'm a big fan still. Yeah, it was like a lot of bands you like never Malice. They had that one great album, Lion. Remember Lion? That's on Power Love. I like those guys. I remember buying that cassette back in the day. Bands like that. Ultimate Classic Rock did a top 10 Ace songs like the day after his passing, and it struck me as a list of just random Ace song titles, so I posted as such in the thread, and had idiots give me shit and saying I'm obviously not an Ace fan. Yeah. White Lion. No, just Lion. I still love me some White Lion, especially that first album. Yeah, so I'm driving home. The other dropped Tom off after Gabino Iglesias. I'm driving home, and Alan Hunter from Driving no, not Driving and Crying. Alan Hunter from the MTV the 80s on 8 or 90s on 9, whatever when it was. It's like, Ace Frehley, guitar player from Kiss, passed away, and it's great sadness, and on and on and on, and then he's like, so we're gonna play some Kiss for you, and then they played Lick It Up. I'm like, you can't take 2 fucking seconds to just all the albums Ace really played on. This you play Lick It Up. People are fucking morons. Not that I was a big fan, but Kingdom Come got an unfair chance. How come we can have 3,000 bands that sound like Sabbath? We can have 2 that sound like Zepp without them getting crap for it. You want to hear the answer to that one, Chad? I'm going to tell you. Because I saw them on the Monsters of Rock tour at Giant Stadium back in the day. They opened, it was, who was it? Van Halen, Sammy Hagar, Van Halen, Metallica, Dokken, Scorpions, Kingdom Come, maybe a couple other bands. But I think the problem with them is that they immediately came out on the defensive when that first album came out, and they said, we've never even heard Led Zeppelin. We don't even know who they are. That was the big thing. This is our sound. Where they were like from Sweden or some bullshit. This is our sound. We created this sound. We didn't steal this from anybody. And they had this whole big thing about it. And people were annoyed, like, you're fucking liars. And of course, years later, they were like, oh yeah, we definitely were hugely influenced by Zeppelin, but the record company told us not to say that. So we went on interviews and basically lied, and you alienated a lot of people. If you just come out and said, we sound like fucking Zeppelin. I didn't think they were bad. I just didn't think they were anything great. My daughter's a big fan of that, what is it, Greta Van Fleet or whatever the hell it is, and I'm like, you just sound like Led Zeppelin. Not bad, just sounds like Zeppelin. He's far from the only vocals that sound like Plant. Exactly. David Coverdale, anyone? Sea Hags and that would have been a great bill. Sea Hags and Luscious Jackson. That's like ABC posting that pic of Tommy there when we're pointing about. Yeah. Disneyland After Dark. DAD. No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims album. That's a phenomenal album. That song, Sleeping My Day Away. Great song. Great song. They played at, where did they play? They played in New Jersey. When I was still in New Jersey, they played somewhere, I don't remember where, but, they played, I can't remember who else, but I know Push, opened for them. Greta Van Fleet, I love her stuff. They throw the best damn parties at the Rim of Hell, yeah? D.A.D., good band. Greta Van Fleet, aren't they busy fighting global warming and getting He-Man haircuts? See, I didn't know all that. That's what it basically explained where they are right now. I mean, we lost some musical greats. Ace Frehley, the bass player from Limp Bizkit. Somebody was talking about him yesterday at that show. Did you see what? I don't even know his name. Passed away. I'm like, I know, man. I used to hang out with him. Yeah, his mom still lives in town. Sam Rivers, yeah, Sammy the Bull Rivers. I don't know who that is. Apparently, he needed a liver transplant. Is that what it was? So he was an alcoholic. Yeah, I never actually saw what actually happened to him. All right, I'm gonna get to the next page on this. That's the goal. Don't we all need liver transplants, though? Why don't we do just a worldwide? Everybody transfer your liver over to the next person. See what happens. Almost next page, Mr. Frank. Almost next page. It's really nice out. It's now 78 degrees out. I haven't seen anybody outside, though. It's been very quiet out there. A little too quiet. I like when Gene Simmons said Ace was the irreplaceable rock soldier, and I was like, bitch, you played him about 5 times. Yeah, pretty much. He's the only guitar player in this band. I mean, besides the 15 other guys we hired after him. Besides the fact that I publicly fired him several times. Gene Simmons is George Steinbrenner, and Ace Frehley is Billy Martin. Why you gotta fire your editor? Why you gotta do that? They're not doing a good job. They're not getting back to you. I gotta know the reason. Excellent, right? Isn't that a great comparison? Whereas the Sam Rivers, the bass player who just died, if he was on the Yankees, he'd be Louis Polonia. He'd be Pagliarulo. Pags. That was my brother's favorite player. Mike Pagliarulo. There's no doubt that in my mind that Ace kicked dirt at Gene at some point in time. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I did listen to that first Ace solo album, not the Kiss one, his actual solo, Freely's Comet. I think on Friday, and that has some good fucking tunes. That has some good tunes on it. That's an odd favorite player, right? Isn't that like an odd favorite player? Mine was Dave Righetti, but he threw a no-no. Dave Righetti, I like Dave Righetti. Dave Righetti, I liked at the end of his career when he re-signed. I don't know if he. I don't remember who he signed with. The Padres, the Astros, somebody. And they said, why, at your age, and at that point he was like in his late 30s, which is ridiculous for players in the 80s. And they said, why are you still pitching? And he said, where else am I going to, what other job can I get where I can get six figures? Because I think like the league minimum was like 90,000, and I think he was making like 150,000 on that last contract. I'm like, you know what? I always remembered that. And you're right. What's he gonna go? Fucking sell cars? Rags. That's what I used to call him. He's another one of those guys that had like a good career, but he was a fucking Red Sox killer. What are you doing, Cat? What are you doing? Back when ball players actually had to work, yeah. Not here's a league minimum $750,000. I never forget about 5 years ago, one of the guys from the Jumbo Shrimp was the bullpen catcher. He retired from baseball but became the bullpen catcher for the Marlins, and he said he was making $250,000, whereas the peak he had ever made as a minor leaguer was $25,000. $250,000, and all you're doing is basically warming up the pitchers, not fluffing them, just pitch wise warming them up. I got a couple lines here. I'm done. Good work if you can get it. Exactly. You know, I would have done it. If all you had to do is ask me. I'm a lefty. That's worth something. What's that guy? There's a pitcher on the Red Sox who pitched all through the early '90s. I want to say Fosse was his last name. I believe it was Fosse, and he was not really good. You know, those were some really shitty years for the Red Sox and the Yankees. And but he was a lefty. He was a lefty pitcher, so he always had a job. Placido Domingo, yes. Next page. Nick's in. Just swoops in like it's nothing. Hope you're having a good. Hope you had a good weekend. I'm sure you went to the state fair and saw, I don't know, Men Without Hats or something. I believe Men Without Hats were in town here this weekend. I wonder if they played the safety dance. Oh, napping. Napping is nice. I haven't napped in a while. Like I said, my wife got home very late from her mom's, like after 1 o'clock, and I was up. I was actually up watching Reels. For Reels. And then I went to bed, and then I didn't get up till almost 10. Like 5 minutes to 10, I rolled out of bed. Nick watched The Perfect Neighbor. I have not watched it yet, Nick, so do not spoil it. Oh, he's so upset. Keeping it real. Get it real. R-E-E-L. I was watching Perfect Strangers. Great show. Not really. Spoiler alert, she wasn't the person. Well, now I don't have to watch it then. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Well, on this, that I'm writing now, 9 Days Patient Zero, I left off, and I had written 56,229 words was how it ended, and right now I'm at 57,229 words. It literally 1,000 words, even more. So I'm not going to write anymore on this. Probably not going to write anymore on anything. I probably will join Nick in a nap, and we'll spoon on the couch together. That'll be nice. Oh, so nice. Wow. All right, again, I will be on, should be on tomorrow. I always say, but I get lazy. Tomorrow I should be on YouTube Live. I'm not alone except for the pile of dogs and cats. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Shelly brings the dog to bed every night. And she gets under the covers, and she's usually like down at the end of the bed between Shelly's feet, or like she's up on the side, and I have a pillow between us that I tuck on one side because my side hurts. But then a lot of times, me tossing and turn, and I'll roll over, and the dog is on the fucking pillow. Yeah, yeah. Prickle your eyes, not prick them. That hurts. And then, like right now, I'm gonna go take a nap. I guarantee Maisie's gonna want to lay right on my stomach, and snore. Even though I've opened all the windows for them. You know what I'm saying? A little distraction. Yep. All right. So I'm wrapping this up. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the people watching later. Reminder to subscribe or resubscribe, and also follow me on YouTube. All these get dropped onto YouTube after the fact. All right. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Definitely see everybody here on Wednesday.